Today, we're diving into a fascinating case study about an AI tool called ExaminerIQ, and it's built to solve a problem that I'm sure every single one of us has felt. You do the work, you put in the hours, but by the time you get feedback, it's just too late to matter.
Oh yeah, we've all been there. You pour your heart and soul into an essay, you hit submit, and then you just wait. It's this black hole of time, and by the time you finally get it back, the context, the arguments, your whole train of thought, it's all gone. It's ancient history. And this slide. This is what it's all about. This is the core problem ExaminerIQ was built to solve, what the source material calls the feedback gap. For a major A-level essay in Singapore, the average wait is a whopping 17 days. This tool's promise? To shrink that down to just 90 seconds. That contrast is absolutely at the heart of our story today.
Okay, so let's really dig into this broken feedback loop, because it's so much more than just a minor inconvenience. It's actually a fundamental barrier to learning.
The source documents lay it all out pretty clearly. That slow turnaround, it means students have already forgotten what they wrote. And because teachers are so swamped, the feedback is often shallow. Just a grade, maybe a few quick comments. On top of that, you might get conflicting advice from different teachers. And if you want to practice on your own, good luck. You're basically just writing into the void.
So you might be thinking, if the problem is so obvious, why hasn't someone fixed it? Well, it turns out that providing high-stakes, examiner-level feedback is a surprisingly difficult nut for technology to crack. And here's why. Think about the tools we already have. Grammarly is great, but it checks your spelling, not whether your argument makes any sense. Turnitin checks for plagiarism, not for quality. And even a super powerful AI like ChatGPT, well, it's not calibrated. It doesn't know the specific strict marking rules for an official exam. It can just make up scores.
And this is where our hero emerges. ExaminerIQ isn't a generic helper. It's designed to be a specialist. It's been meticulously calibrated to one specific official standard, the Singapore A-Level General Paper Syllabus, code 8881.
And there it is, 90 seconds. That's the core promise. It's not just about being faster, it's about completely collapsing that feedback loop. It turns that weeks-long waiting game into an immediate back-and-forth learning session.
All right, so what do you actually get in those 90 seconds? Let's take a look inside the report itself and see how this promise turns into real, actionable feedback that a student can actually use to get better.
Instead of just a single number, the student gets a full-blown diagnostic report. Yeah, there's a total score, but it's broken down into content and language marks, just like a real examiner would do. It tells you what you did well, points out your top 3 weaknesses, and even gives you concrete steps to improve. It's all about explaining the why behind the score.
And check this out. Here we can see one of the AI agents, the language corrector, doing its thing. It doesn't just say, hey, you made a grammar mistake. Nope. It shows you the original sentence, it gives you the corrected version, and, this is the important part, it explains why the change was made, so you don't make the same mistake again.
But it gets even smarter than just fixing errors. Another agent, the content improver, will actually take a weak part of your argument and rewrite it for you. It shows you what a stronger, more analytical version would look like. I mean, this isn't just feedback anymore. This is straight-up coaching.
So you're probably wondering, how on earth does it do all of this, and so quickly? Well, the answer isn't one single giant AI brain. It's actually a team of specialists all working together in a pipeline. The whole system uses what they call a 6-agent pipeline. Think of it like a car factory assembly line. First, an agent analyzes the question to understand what's required. Then, 2 separate specialists evaluate the content and the language. After that, a holistic marker puts it all together for a final grade, and then the corrector and improver agents add their detailed coaching. It's built to mimic a real human examiner's workflow.
And here's why that separation is so important. This is a key insight. By having different agents look at content and language, the system avoids a really common human bias. You know, where a teacher might subconsciously give a lower grade to a brilliant argument just because it has a few spelling mistakes. This approach makes sure the assessment is fair and accurate.
Now, a super powerful tool is great, but it's pretty useless if students can't actually get their hands on it. And that brings us to the really unique way the product works. It's token economy.
The whole platform runs on a really simple currency, the token. It's as straightforward as it gets. One token gets you one complete 6-agent essay assessment. That's it. No complicated credit systems, just a simple one-for-one exchange.
But here's the really clever part. Students don't necessarily have to buy these tokens. They can earn them, just for signing up, for referring a friend, or for keeping up a weekly practice streak.
It's a system that's designed to reward consistent effort, not just access to a credit card.
And the business model follows that same logic. The core marking quality, all 6 of those AI agents, is exactly the same whether you're a free user or a paying one. The paywall doesn't block quality, it blocks things like volume, access to your full essay history, a fancy progress dashboard, and convenience features like uploading handwritten work.
Okay, so what's next? What's on the horizon? Because the vision here is way bigger than just one subject and one country.
You can see the plan laid right out. They're adding OCR to read handwritten essays, which is a total game changer for exam practice. Then, they're planning to expand to other high-stakes subjects like O-level English and A-level economics, applying that same calibrated pipeline to new exam boards.
And that kind of leaves us with this really powerful final thought. This whole thing started as a tool to solve a very specific problem for a very specific exam. But the question it raises is so much bigger. What happens to learning when expert, personalized coaching is no longer a scarce resource, but an instant, accessible utility for every student, everywhere?